They sit in shadows plotting your downfall, but they cannot comprehend the divine shield that surrounds you. What they aim to destroy will only be your rebirth. Their weapons are formed in darkness, but God's light will dismantle every one of their schemes. The enemy's plan to kill you will only resurrect your strength. You are walking through the valley of their traps, but God walks before you. Every snare they lay will capture them, not you. The enemy thinks they have cornered you, but they underestimate the power of divine protection. The pit they dug for you will be their own grave. Behind their smiles are knives, ready to strike, but every blow they aim at you will miss, for God's shield covers you from head to toe. They have orchestrated a storm to drown you, but God will use that same storm to cleanse and elevate you to heights they could never reach. Your enemies don't realize that their plot is doomed from the start. For every step they take against you, God has already taken two in your favor. They conspire to poison your soul with their lies and betrayal, but God will turn that poison into the antidote that strengthens you. They want to silence your voice, but God is about to amplify your message louder than they ever imagined. Their plot will backfire in spectacular fashion. Their plans to kill your spirit will be the very thing that awakens a deeper power within you. What they meant for harm, God will turn into a miraculous victory. They try to bury you under their jealousy and hate, but they forget one thing. You are a seed, and God is preparing you to bloom in ways they could never foresee. The arrows they've sent in secret will never reach you. God has caught everyone and will send them back in ways they cannot anticipate. Your enemies are planning your demise, but what they don't know is that God is planning your resurrection. The grave they dug for you will be empty. They've tried to isolate you, thinking that loneliness will weaken your resolve. But in your solitude, God has been your greatest strength. Their words were meant to break you, but in God's hands, every insult and accusation is being transformed into a blessing beyond their understanding. They've laid traps in every direction, but God is turning their strategies into stepping stones for your elevation. Your enemies want to see you fall, but every time they try to push you down, God is lifting you higher, beyond their reach. The whispers of your enemies will soon turn into screams of frustration as they watch God turn every curse they spoke against you into a blessing. They thought they could weaken you with their lies, but what they don't realize is that God has already strengthened your foundation. You will not be moved. The darkness they've surrounded you with is only a shadow. God's light is about to break through in ways that will blind your enemies. They are weaving a web to trap you, but God has already untangled every thread. The more they plan, the more they become ensnared in their own deceit. The enemy's greatest weapon is fear, but God has already armed you with faith. What they intend to kill you with will become your testimony of victory. Their swords of envy will shatter against the armor of grace that God has placed upon you. Every attack will only make you stronger. They've tried to destroy your name, but God is rewriting your story in golden letters. Their plans will fail, and your legacy will shine brighter than ever. The weapons they formed against you will be rendered useless in the presence of God's favor. You are untouchable, not because of your strength, but because of His. Your enemies plot in secret, but God sees all. Their hidden agendas will be exposed in the light of His truth, and you will stand victorious. They are counting on your weakness, but what they don't know is that God's strength is made perfect in your weakness. Every plan they've made will crumble. Their betrayal was meant to break your spirit, but God is using it to reveal who truly stands with you. You are being pruned for greater things. They think they've won, but God is just getting started. Every move they make against you is another opportunity for God to display His power. Your enemies underestimate the God who fights for you. Their weapons of fear and deceit are no match for His truth and love. They want to see you suffer, but what they don't know is that God is using their cruelty to forge a new strength within you. The fire they intended to burn you will instead refine you, and you will emerge from the flames with a glory they could never steal. They aim to kill your dreams, but God is the dream giver. No weapon they form against you will prosper, for your purpose is divinely protected. Their alliance against you is fragile because it is built on lies. God's truth will shatter their unity and leave them in disarray. Their plan was to extinguish your light, but God's brilliance within you will only shine brighter. What they intend for darkness will reveal your divine radiance. They think they have the power to control your destiny, but God is the ultimate author of your story. Every attempt they make to derail you will only lead to a greater triumph. Their strategies are designed to isolate you, but God is surrounding you with divine favor. Their attempts to cut you off will only draw you closer to the source of your strength. The webs they weave to ensnare you will become the nets that trap them. God's plan for your life is too great for their schemes to succeed. They are plotting your downfall, but God is orchestrating your rise. Every attempt to harm you will be the stepping stones to your greatest victories. Their deceitful plots are meant to weaken you, but God's truth will fortify your spirit. What they try to destroy will only make you stronger. They want to see you fail, but God is setting you up for success. Every scheme against you will be met with divine intervention that propels you forward. The snares they set to capture you will be the traps that ensnare them. God's protection over your life is a fortress that no enemy can breach. They are crafting their attacks, but God is crafting your destiny. Their plans are temporary, but His purpose for your life is eternal and unshakable. Their envy is the seed of their destruction. God is turning their ill intentions into the soil where your blessings will grow and flourish. They want to see you crushed under their weight, but God's grace is lifting you higher. Every burden they place upon you will become your stepping stone to greatness. They think their plans are foolproof, but God's wisdom far exceeds their schemes. Their every plot will unravel as His purpose unfolds in your life. They aim to destroy your hope, but God is the source of an unshakable hope. Their attempts to extinguish it will only make it burn brighter. Their betrayal is intended to break your spirit, but God is using it to forge an unbreakable faith within you. What they meant for harm will be your source of strength. The storm they are sending to drown you will be the wind that carries you to new heights. God's power is greater than their schemes. They are counting on your defeat, but God is counting on your victory. Every attack they make will be a testament to His power working in your favor. Their envy will lead them to their own destruction. God's protection over you is a fortress that their plans cannot breach or penetrate. They want to silence your voice, but God's truth will amplify it. What they intend to suppress will only become a powerful declaration of His glory. The attacks they are planning will be met with God's divine intervention. Their every effort to harm you will turn into a testimony of His faithfulness. They think they have the upper hand, but God's hand is mightier. Their plans against you will be thwarted by the power of His grace and protection. They intend to break you, but God is mending you with His love. What they meant to destroy will only enhance the beauty of His work in your life. Their schemes are like paper tigers. God's might will tear through them, and you will emerge untouched, strengthened, and victorious. The shadows they cast will be illuminated by God's light. Every attempt they make to harm you will reveal the strength of His protection and love. They believe they can outsmart God, but His wisdom is beyond their comprehension. Their every plot will be met with His divine intervention.